Off-duty officer kills black man offering roadside help. Okay, get ready for the spin. Might end up dizzy. All right, this is from the BIM. The family of a black man fatally shot by an off-duty homicide detective has filed a lawsuit against the city of Philadelphia and 6 police officers per Fox 29. According to the civil lawsuit filed on August 27th, 54-year-old Robert Jones was trying to assist who he believed was a stranded driver when he was shot multiple times by Detective Christopher Sweeney, a white 14-year veteran of the police department. Sweeney was off duty and driving his personal vehicle at the time of the shooting. He was cleared of criminal wrongdoing by the district attorney's office in July.
Of course he was.
Of course he was. I almost said that myself. Quote, they're trying to save the officer and at the same time put a stain on my brother's name, unquote. Michael Jones, who filed the suit on behalf of his brother's estate, said. The October 2024 shooting unfolded after Jones, who was trained in roadside assistance, exited his vehicle to approach Sweeney's car, which was stopped in a turn lane in a residential area in North Philadelphia. Jones believed the vehicle was disabled and wanted to offer help. The lawsuit claims Sweeney flashed his badge and yelled that he was a police officer through a closed window. Sweeney then fired his service weapon at point-blank range through the window, striking Jones multiple times. Jones was taken to a hospital where he later died. The suit accuses Sweeney of assault, battery, and wrongful death. It also alleges that other officers who responded to the scene worked to shield him from liability by supporting a false narrative that the encounter stemmed from road rage. Quote, Sweeney's actions amounted to a violent, unprovoked assault and battery, unquote, the suit states, adding that police manipulated the crime scene to support his story. The lawsuit is seeking at least $200,000 in compensatory and punitive damages, including for wrongful death, emotional distress, and economic loss. Quote, people make mistakes, but that doesn't mean taking someone's life is justified, unquote, Kevin O'Brien, an attorney for the Jones family, said. Goes on to say, and we certainly think the evidence will show that. Okay. Why are we talking about this story? That's a good question. We normally don't discuss stories like this, kind of one-off stories of, individual instances of conflict with the police. But I think that this shows how dangerous life can be for a human being fueled with empathy and compassion, who also happens to be melanated and male in this country. I want to share something, and this will explain why I felt that this story was important to share. Where I live, I go on walks with my son. My son, it's what we've done since he was born. We take him in his stroller, but we walk around a neighborhood. It's a nice enough neighborhood. We walk around. Now we ride bikes, all that sort of stuff. There's this neat little game, or I don't know if it's a game, but there's this neat little thing that happens in this neighborhood where people will paint rocks and put them in their front yard. And it's sort of like a neighborhood rock exchange. You can pick up pretty painted rocks and take them and put them in someone else's yard or put them in your own yard. And people can come and take the rocks out of your yard and share them around. There's also little library books that people put at the end of their yard in these little cases, and people can give and take and all that sort of stuff, right? So it's one of those type of neighborhoods, right? My son grew up here, and in this place he was discovering the world. And when you see colorful rocks as a child that are painted in childlike manner, you feel like invited to go and play with the rocks, pick them up, take them, share them, whatever. And one of the things that I told my son at a very young age was, nope, you absolutely will not walk into anybody's yard. Not at all, right? And, for people that think I might be overreacting, 9 times out of 10, you might be right. 90% of these people might have no issue whatsoever with a small child walking into the yard picking up some rocks. That last little bit, though, they might take an issue with me standing in front of their house. There's a lot of people that they are waiting to get something off. Be it a shot, be it a police call, be it a some sort of threatening, whatever. I've knocked on doors before, back when that was still the thing, before people had cell phones, and hey, we got N words at the door. And of course, they didn't say N words. They actually said the word. I can't say it on the radio, of course, but. And, I might have been 11. You remember those candy selling things we used to have to do in school, Q? Did you guys do those in Detroit?
Yes, we did.
Okay. So, yeah. So we had to do those too. And hearing that was like the scariest thing in my life. Oh, man. And it's like that. You think I'm going to let my son go knock on somebody's door? So when I look at this story and this guy pulls over and offers help. Now, we don't know if this is true. Of course, we're journalists, so we have to read the story as it is. The police is saying that there's an incident of road rage. And of course, the man who lost his life, his family is saying that this guy was trained in roadside assistance and he was trying to offer roadside assistance to a stranded vehicle. But in any case, regardless of what happened, this was a black man approaching the window of a non-black person. So this is a country full of guns and a country with a history of hating black people, taking black life, and not facing consequences for it. If you are not black, a black person can take a black person's life, sure, and there will be consequences. But a person like this, a off-duty police officer, he has a team of people that show up that get the story lined up the right way and make sure that he's not going to be held accountable here. Now, this whole thing is further exacerbated under this current administration because whatever possible optics can be assigned to this off-duty police officer to make his case look better, he's got a full system to support him, all the way up to and including the Supreme Court of the United States of America. And we know it. And we know it. So I think the point here is just to let you know that when Q and I say, these are scary times, this is deeply concerning, this is deeply unsettling, we're not talking about, oh man, this is a little uncomfortable. No, this is like scary, like life and death scary. Somebody could shoot my baby for playing a baby's game. And they could say I was threatened. I felt afraid. We covered a story like, a week ago of people shooting kids, ringing the door and running away. And this makes me think that we live in a less kind world where you can't help somebody if their car is stranded on the side of the road, especially if they're white. And that is heartbreaking because I would have never thought that that'd be the world that we're living in. But, it's something that I've been coming to terms with, as much as it makes my stomach turn. I don't know who's in that car. I don't know who they voted for. I don't know how they think about me, if they're afraid of me, if they hate me for no reason. I cannot offer help when I know that I'm capable. And I'm not given to fear, but this is a scary time. I know I said a lot, Q. Anything?
They think so little of black life that even in their efforts to cover it up, they don't try to make it like this person did nothing wrong. They say it's road rage, as if one of us killing someone in an act of road rage would mean nothing to see here.
Yeah, even you're right.
Cover up. They think so little of us that, hey, it was road rage. So, hey, like, okay, he gets to murder the guy and there's nothing to see here. This is the America that we live in. And the strange thing is, the officer who killed this man, because you mentioned before, in this, given this situation, you wouldn't know whether or not to even render assistance or help because you don't know who this person voted for or how they feel about the fact that you're black. How troubling is it that because of what happened here, I know exactly who this person voted
for. Me too. Yeah. Exactly who he voted for. That is disturbing and a potent take. And that realization hit me hard because, we've had this conversation before on different episodes, but this one, it's clear as day.